there's a dimension that connects to ours. It threads through ours. It's a higher dimension. And in that dimension, there are demonic creatures that live. And these demonic creatures have a hierarchy. And one of the ways that they can attain more power is by the directed intention, focus, or as we would call it, prayer upon that Dizian. These creatures, think of them as extra dimensional, can actually come in and affect levels of our universe. Well, one of them, a low-level demon called Vulrintutakon, finds a way to break the fabric between that dimension and this and enter completely into ours. Lands on a planet that's in its industrial age, and the only thing is that outside of the radiation of his home dimension, Khan cannot exist unless he possesses the body of a creature of this dimension. And these totems, they wear down over time, so he has to keep getting a new one. When he comes to the civilization, he kills half of it and converts the other half. Takes them through a technological monolith into a spacefaring species, and then over 1,000 years proceeds to go to planet after planet, civilization after civilization, and converting or killing them while absorbing their technology and creating an armada that has so many different types of civilizations and different tech trees that they can basically counter any kind of technology that they come across. This bothers creatures in our dimension that we would consider gods, as they see this demon rolling across with a galactic army, swallowing entire planets, taking intention, direction, or prayer from these creatures. So they come together to find a way to defend themselves against this abominable force. They decide to take all of their tombs, spells, all of their ancient relics, put them together onto one warrior god by the name of Zaito. Zaito goes off to fight Vulrintutakon in a battle that lasts 7 days, until on the 7th day, Khan kneels down on the chest of Zaito, this barely breathing, broken god, all of his armor and tombs shattered, and carves off his living face. He then wears it into battle everywhere he goes as a warning to all others to what would happen if he is defied. This relic, this face mask ends up becoming a relic called the Zeiton, a demonic relic. And through the course of destroying many different civilizations, they come across one that has a people called the Bakrana, and in the southern half, the dark half of the planet, the Vulrina. When they come across this species, this species tries to fight back. Now, this was a galactic-faring species. They had existed for 1,000 years, taking over different planets and colonies, so they're getting swallowed up bit by bit. In their haste to defend themselves, because the demonic army of Khan has the ability to deploy on any planet, any kind of atmosphere, and they don't have this technology unless they wear sophisticated armors, they create a new super soldier, a space marine, a drop trooper that can go in any atmosphere and adapt instantly to any surroundings, with the ability to fight these demonic creatures or the Dizians of Khan. They're called the Elementals. They come from Bakrana has various different countries, factions, tribes that worship different elements. And the experimentation, the genetic manipulation that happens to these Marines, to these soldiers, gives them the ability to tap into 0-point energy, the latent energy that exists in space, just empty space. They can use that to manipulate the elements. And so they go to war with Khan. Khan ends up fighting every single colony, destroying everyone, gobbling them up until it comes to the home world, where he's actually made a pact with the Vulrina on the southern half of the planet, that if they uprise and help in the destruction of Bakrana, that he will lift them up. He will allow them to live. And so he imparts upon them a similar technology with demonic infusion. Civil war ensues. Eventually, Khan's army makes it to Bakrana. The whole country, the whole world is about to fall into despair when a single warrior by the name of Liam Ra, a fire elemental, manages to steal the Zeiton from Khan and uses it to kill him, because only something of Khan can hurt Khan. After this war is over and the sides have settled, both civilizations have a very uneasy truce. But the Vulrina has been capitulated. It has now been taken over. Once these warriors begin breeding, the government in place begins to become worried they're going to go the way of the Neanderthal. So they create a false threat They task all of these warriors, these battle-hardened, elemental-hearted warriors who crave fighting, packs them all up onto transports to go to a false threat, and ejects them out into dark space. 3,500 years ago on Earth, they land, abandoned. They begin to fight. The only way that they are stopped is by finding the ability to procreate. This becomes something called the Pack of Lineage. And there's an uneasy truce between these two factions growing up, going through Earth history, alternating it, of course, it being impactful, yet their breeding cycle is so low that they can never outbreed humans. So humans always have the natural advantage. That is the preface to my series, the Elemental Saga, the first book I'm going to be releasing in 6 months. It's called Elemental Hearts of War, and it's also going to be followed by Elemental Dragonfyre and Brimstone. These are going to be re-release of a series that I've written. It's a 7-book series, and I hope you guys enjoy that preface. That's called The War of the Gods.
Damn.
And that's a trilogy that I'm going to write.
I was gonna say,
apparently Steven's the pitch man amongst us all.
Yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to take everything I said and make it pretty.
I've been writing that series. I've been writing that story over and over again since I was 13. It started out as like an X-Men, G.I. Joe, Thundercat story, and ended up becoming that as I, read more material and just matured as a writer.
Come on, author. You don't write books.
I can't. I'm not following that. I'm just gonna take the show home at this point. Fuck.
Jesus God. I can't wait to read this book now.
I know, man. Like seriously, that's fire.
It's like two guys in a room, and I don't know.
All right,
I was gonna totally do the joke like, do you write books or something? But like after that, dude, it's like what can you say? But damn, dude.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah.
The main thing is to protect these characters. Make sure that they still continue to live in the way that you created them. And that the universe of Star Wars continues to grow.
By 2018, far-left extremists in Hollywood had been perverting long-established, profitable science fiction properties as platforms to espouse divisive social propaganda. The vision of these creatives was to repurpose established franchises in the hopes of indoctrinating viewers into the bigoted groupthink of the American far-left ideology. Insanely wealthy producers and adult pretenders set to shame any fan who would not capitulate to their false narratives of virtue, using long-established weight in the legacy media to drive online hate mobs to attack any who dared speak against the woke narrative. Yet there were those who would not kneel before this oligarchy of money, media, and extremism. Those who had known the truth. Fandom is for everyone. The Fandom Menace Volume 2 covers the events of the year 2018 as a group of independent creators rose up together, inspiring the Star Wars fandom to speak out against the flagrant misuse of a property that was not meant to inspire division, but hope. Volume 2 will cover the voices who spoke out against cancel culture, such as the Gospel According to Mark with a C.
Thank God for Star Wars fans. If only Rian Johnson had said the same thing.
Mecha Random 42.
Star Trek, to me, is a hopeful, optimistic view of the future.
With chapters written by Stephanie Janicek, Smuggler's Cantina.
They're not answering any questions that the real fans want to know.
Jesse Milestone of Mindless Entertainment.
And I'm going to warn you right now, this here thing you're about to watch is probably going to involve a lot of yelling and a decent amount of swearing.
Itchy Baka of Disney Star Wars is dumb.
But this doesn't explain why, after Disney's acquisition of Star Wars, George would attend the premieres of The Force Awakens, Rogue One, The Last Jedi, and Solo.
And the Overlord himself, Dictor Van Doomcock.
Greetings, my friends. Our pop culture is under assault by corporations who would rather destroy our cultural heritage than build respectfully upon it.
This is an historical documentation of a group of people in the late 2000 teens who would not bow to the very worst in humanity, seeking to separate us along political lines while using our beloved modern mythologies to do so. They did not kneel. Will you? The Fandom Menace Volume 2, Rise of the Rebellion.